Welcome to another video, everyone. This is Sheldon Wright, Director of Front Runner Sports Management. Let's see if I can get my logo in there. Alright, so for today's video, we'll be discussing the constant killing of black people. This is a special tribute to George Floyd, who was murdered in the US. And there's currently a lot of protests been happening, and I speak like this because it sicks my stomach as a person of color and African descent that we still in 2020 have to deal with issues of racism. So as it stands, we'll be discussing a few things: injustice and why it needs to stop, equality and why it must be encouraged, Black Lives Matter, how to get better and how to improve as a community, as people of African descent, and the whole issue of systematic racism and how it is not separate from racist attitudes of those particular persons of European descent who maintain the system. And also black lives, black people, we have to deal with this for too long, and we're too marginalized. So as we continue, reach out to the family of George Floyd and all condolences to him. We would like from Jamaica to show solidarity and support to our African American brothers and sisters in the US. I have a lot of African American brothers and sisters. I have family, Jamaican family, cousins, aunts, uncles, sister who live in the US, and it is sickening to see all of this continue to happen. I am not afraid because I'm covered by the Most High. Angels protect me, so I know where I stand, and I'm not afraid to come forward and speak about these things because it's just going on too long. Not to say that every person of European descent are racist. However, this is something that has continually happened, and there is not anyone who is really doing anything, because as a businessman I understand the need for the wealthy or the rich to oppress the poor, or for discrimination to continue. Persons need a workforce, persons need labor, so the rich will not try to encourage and develop communities in order to see the workforce continue to be made available. Now, Africans have been systematically destroyed through the process of slavery and colonization. However, there's a shift. I can see it. I don't know how many persons are in tune with their spirituality, but there is now a shift. And I see a rise of Africans and African Americans and Caribbean nationals and persons of color all over the world who are becoming conscious of their belief that they can improve and develop and do well and compete with every other race. However, at the same time, we need to understand what it takes to work together. The fact remains is that when you do not have a culture of persons who have direct objectives, then it is not easy to work together. We Africans are from various tribes, just like Europeans are from various countries, and Asians are from various, areas, locations. It's the same thing. Africans have to understand their culture and their tribe and know how is it that they're going to work together. In order for injustice to stop, Africans need to find their place and their voice, and how they are going to continue to work in their respective sectors and support each other in those sectors instead of depending on other races. Because the economies of scale is this: when you constantly buy from someone who is oppressing you, then you're just encouraging them to oppress you further because you're spending money in their industry, in their product, in their brand. So you buy the Gucci, and these companies, these large companies, owned by persons of European descent, they're not invested in African communities. That's just facts. the level of investment that they give to these communities is minimal. Which is why I've been understanding the whole development as an entrepreneur. I believe God gave me the vision for a particular reason, to teach and coach other persons to improve their development as business persons. So we can want equality all day, but if you consistently don't support your country, like I'm from Jamaica, if I don't buy Jamaican products, then my economy cannot grow. If I don't buy products made by other African persons of African descent, African Americans, then their brand and their business is not going to grow. As of past 2 years, I've stopped investing in products and services made by other races. You know, I still own them. However, I've slowly started to try to understand the importance of investing in other brands, other companies that are of my persons, or are owned by persons of my race. So we have to realize that the Europeans can't do it for us, Asians can't do it for us, Indians can't do it for us, and most of the time they're not going to do it for us. If we don't find a way to come together and work together to build our community, build our businesses, our schools, our healthcare systems, then we will not see the development of our nation and our community. That's just facts. In order for us to grow, and for us to realize our true potential, we have to build our own. That's just how economies are grown. That's just how communities are developed. So to get better, we have to get more money. That's just the bottom line. So as we, as an entrepreneur, looking to end the systematic racism that is prevalent from various states, I do not know companies per se who are guilty of systematic racism, of institutional racism, or persons per se. Everyone famously thinks Donald Trump is racist. He does have racist tendencies, but at the end of the day, he's defending his country and his race, and that's it within his rights. You cannot fault him for that. At the end of the day, you need to come out of your box, and you need to stop complaining about products and services from African community or persons of color, and encourage them. The more money you invest in their company, they can try to invest back in the business and develop their brand. You don't invest in my company, how can I improve? That's just the reality. So I do not want to hear any more complaining. We deserve this type of treatment. I've stopped interacting with certain brands. I don't own a lot of things made by other races, because I realize that the more I invest in those brands, the less they're investing in me, and that's not making me any better. So that's why I started my own company, and I'm building other companies at the same time. So we can sit here and complain all we want. However, now is the time to wake up and realize the power that you have. You have a brain. God gave us a brain. We need to improve. We need to challenge the status quo. We need to build our own cars, our own ships. Dude, these things were done, you know. Marcus Garvey has taught us the importance of these things and to stay away from ignorance, you know. So being a man who is educated, being a man who is a visionary, I realized the need for all of these things. And I didn't stop, I didn't give up. Despite almost being killed 6 times, despite suffering from non-support, I continue to grow. So that is why I would like to encourage each and every one of you in the Caribbean, African Americans, Africans in the continent of Africa, and all those countries, we need to stop looking to other races. Stop being dependent, stop looking for aid, stop looking for help. We need to start to build our own products and services. Because at the end of the day, the other races, they don't care about our problems. It's like I always tell people, don't tell people your problems. 80% of people don't care, 20% of people are happy that you're having them. And that is what I want us to continue to think about. Now, black people need to, persons of color, we need to be stopped to be marginalized. I'm sick and tired of it, and I'm not going to make it stop on my watch. And if I'm not hiring any racists anytime soon, or even my future children won't be hiring any racists for our companies or conglomerate. So I want everybody to wake up. People of color, Jamaicans of color, African Americans, people in the African continent, you need to wake up. And for those who think I'm a racist, you need to come and talk to me. I'm not a racist, but I'm a realist. And the reality is this. Other races don't care about our problems. So we have to look after our own. And that's what I am doing today with my company and my other businesses. So with that being said, we're going to be doing a lot of things. I'm going to be involved in a protest coming up this weekend in front of the US Embassy. I want everybody to show the support, come out. It's a peaceful protest, because we're not going to stand for this anymore. As a leader, as a visionary, as a businessman, and a man of God, we have to put an end to this once and for all. This monster will not get any more energy to feed itself. Keep up the hard work, everyone. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Big up to all Jamaicans all over the world, and all African Americans and persons in the African continent. We're taking this back, and we're building. So hang in there. We're against all the looting and shooting. Work together. Let's get organized, everybody. Peace out.